evening. I was laying there, as I was waking up, and I had these thoughts coming into my head today about how is this Mandela effect possibly working in certain cases, and I was thinking of like on Disney movies, how they got sex in the clouds, they got the priest with the boner, they got a bunch of, there is so much anomalous entity of sexual stuff from Disney. And Disney's definitely just like Lucas. And Disney even bought Lucas, right? Or Star Wars. So Disney has this crazy Kabbalistic system that they're set up on where they only sell movies for a little while. Then, like magic, they come back in 7 years. You know what I'm saying? And digitally remastered, just like the THX on the Lucasfilms. So, and like I said, man, and I also remembered Hidden in Plain Sight in that book. That book highlights also had mazes. It also had like little facts, like it would tell you things about trees and like other things like that, man. I mean, it had mazes and just little games in it. You know what I'm saying? Brain games, like on cereal boxes. And there's a movie with Bruce Willis where he's got this kid that's autistic. And this kid looks on this cereal box and he sees a hidden code inside of the cereal box game. And it's got a hidden telephone number. And these people sitting in a laboratory, like in Enemy of the State, basically. This kid calls. And they got this one phone there, and they look, and they're like, oh, my God, no one's supposed to be able to call this phone because they had it set up in such a way that it was such a crazy algorithmic impossibility that there was anyone that would be able to figure it out. But this retarded kid figures it out. You know what I'm saying? And how that's relevant is that they really do shit like this. You know what I'm saying? They put stuff, they've communicated in code in magazines like the killer BTK, Bind, Torture, Kill. He would, or the Zodiac Killer. All these weird killer guys, these serial killers, would always write to newspapers about their exploits. Like sometimes they would find like they would get in love with their fame that they're getting, and they would try to correspond with people, and they would write like little notes with all these weird indicators and whatnot in it, man. So that's real shizzle right there. Just like on that movie I think it's Red Dragon, and the dude reads this newspaper thing, and it's got a code in it. And it was from Hannibal telling the Red Dragon guy where his family was living. He cracked the code, wrote a little note like that said something totally different, and then you do this little code on it, and it gave his address. And he did this with the national newspaper, ad. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. But then you also see the movie A Beautiful Mind, where the guys. They say he's, straight up crazy, and he thinks he's working for the government. But, I mean, I don't know, man. The movie kind of shows, the dude, they really do that type of shit to people. They'll make, like, weird liaison, semi-citizen, operatives. And then, motherfuckers just crack under the pressure. And then if you call someone crazy, there's plausible deniability. And then, that person takes the rap of crazy while the real, the shadowy niggas that really did this shit to them continue on to do it to someone else. Like Bobby Fischer, there's another one, the chess player. And he's running around going, oh my God, the CIA's got my room tapped. I mean, listen, if you're playing games, competing internationally in Cold War times, the CIA did have that motherfucker tapped. You know what I'm saying? Whether he's crazy, schizophrenic or not, they do that shit. Another on that movie, Man, what was that movie called, man? The Aviator. You know what I'm saying? At the end of it, it shows the dude, they had to take dude away from public because when he was out in public, all these dudes kept walking by him in these strange men in black uniform looking things. These long trench coats and these round brim hats and glasses. And once again, this guy built craft for the military. And the military gets so fucking paranoid if you work for them that you're gonna go sell your information to the enemy. So they do start targeting people like that. You know what I'm saying? So people might look like they're going crazy. It's just they can't handle the pressure, man, of all that spy versus spy, EIO, spy porn craft. You know what I'm saying? It's just you can't take it no more because you're aware of how crazy it is. And you know what I'm saying? And everyone else is oblivious. So you appear just to be having panic attacks, anxiety attacks, breakdowns. It's just they've never been under the pressure of knowing what's really going on, knowing what you're really seeing sometimes. I mean, but just like I was saying about how the soldiers, man, start seeing when they're coming back, they still see garbage on the side of the road and freak out. It's the same thing going on there. Now you see a real salesman coming up to, try to sell you something, and then you think that's an operative, and then you freak out and go hide. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing, this PTSD mindset. I mean, I know that doesn't totally relate to this Mandela effect, but I was thinking about how, I mean, this stuff does kind of relate to that, what the dude in that movie, A Beautiful Mind, what he thought he was doing is really, they really do that. You know what I'm saying? Is what I meant about that. And then then I had to tie in, how if you're international or if you work for the military industrial, especially in the spy craft or in all this stuff, the stuff really is going on out there, dude. But every 7 years they release the old things. So listen, maybe the cartoons that me and people my age and older watched when we were children, maybe we're seeing something different now because no one's got access to those old shit from the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Because they revise them every 7 years. That's just like Lucas, probably. Unless you have them old tapes, or someone that deals in that's basically what you would call antiques now. You know what I'm saying? You might not be able to access some of this stuff, or if you even who's got a VCR laying around anymore. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just. This is one way to make a real memory hole, scrub the system, work it backwards, forward. You know what I'm saying? So that way, I mean, it's kind of weird. I mean, you can see why they would do it. They would do it for a clinical, pure psychological aspect. I mean, think about it. If they can get away with it, the next wave of their studies, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna ramp it up every time. The more that we let them know that we'll forget, the more they will change it. And you can see listen, Huxley, I was watching the Huxley Berkeley presentation again, and he was talking about projection. You know what I'm saying? He was using his mind to project things that they'd have in the future. And he was talking about scientific dictatorship. And basically he says, see, right now we don't have the means to infect the environment like we will in the future, where we'll be able to change the environment and therefore it changes the individual. So if you change, this is a real thing that they want to do. You know what I'm saying? And they always have done. It's like Greece never, let Greece know that they stole their knowledge from Egypt. And Egypt never let Egypt know that it was taken from Babylon, and so forth and so on. And this is they do like to literally make a memory hole revised history and keep things. They like to make things up fresh as they go. They keep some things in the collective consciousness, but then they try to take something out. They implant and they extract, and put somewhere else where it don't belong. They do these things sometimes, man. And